Fighters, today I got Aaron Horner from Contractor Growth Network joining us today to talk about the power of storytelling in your marketing as you build your brand. Aaron and the rest of the CGN, the Contractor Growth Network team, are one of our badass sponsors of the Mile High Profit Summit this year in Denver. I highly encourage you to listen to this, take some notes, and reach out to them if you're struggling with your marketing. All right? I can't say that enough. Go to contractorgrowthnetwork.com and have a conversation about how they can help you with the marketing. And Aaron was even so generous to drop his personal cell phone number in the episode. He said, just call him. And he's not a sales guy there. He's not going to try to sell you. He's like, if you want to pick his brain or whatever, call him. He put the number out there. Call him. And anyway, we appreciate CGN for all they're doing to help us make this a great event once again here in Denver. And guys, if you don't have your tickets, go to milehighprofitsummit.com. And without further ado, here's Aaron Horner. Aaron, welcome to the fight. What's going on, homie?
Thank you, man. I'm so glad to be here. I've been doing some videos for you guys and visiting some of your members, and there's never been a point in my life where I would have been more excited to be on this podcast. So I'm excited.
Well, Logan's the one that's normally on here, and you're stepping in here today because I know we're going to talk a little bit about storytelling, and without letting the cat out of the bag, you've been doing a cool project for the fight, like you said, with some of our members that we're going to be highlighting very soon and telling some stories. But before we dig in here today, give us the 30,000-foot view of Aaron Horner. How'd you end up working with CGN, and what'd you do before that, and how much can you bench press?
The standard questions that everybody gets asked. So I'm kind of a young buck in this game. I've been at CGN for 3 years. I started off just doing our YouTube videos, and I always loved video. But the more I've gotten into it, the more time I've spent with it, the more I've realized to not be selfish with it. At first, it's fun to make videos for yourself and to like make something that you think is cool. And as you spend more and more time in it, you realize like you need to bring other people along in that journey, and you need to be able to tell stories that people can understand and relate to and have an impact from. So that's been cool. So I started off at CGN doing that about 3 years ago. And then right about 2 years ago now, we decided to start selling video to our clients. And so then I've kind of been the head of that, flying out to our clients all across the country, spending anywhere from 1 day to 3 days with them, shooting tons of content for them, coming back and editing it for their websites and their marketing. So it's been cool. I've been able to get in front of a lot of insanely successful business owners all over the country and see what it takes to be a successful contractor and at the top of your game. And then my bench, I'm repping 135 right now, which I know is small, but I myself am 140 pounds.
I was just going to say, you even weigh 135. So, so that's a solid bench press there, man. So.
Yeah. And I don't do max because I go by myself and I don't want to kill myself. I don't know how to do that.
What, you've been there 3 years doing this video, you're traveling around the country, you're shooting content, this and that. What are some of the, actually, before I ask this question, I want to ask because we're going to talk a little bit about storytelling and your brand and your marketing and things like that here. Define that for the listener who might not know what that necessarily means.
So people can overcomplicate it and things like that. But I really think of it as storytelling is how people learn. It's how we communicate. We do it every single day. We do it all the time. We just don't notice it. And it's three things. It's setting up conflict, introducing and setting up conflict, then going in and fighting that conflict, facing that force, whatever it is, and then resolving the issue. And this is done all the time. You just don't notice it. And so as a contractor, a way that you do that, the way that we do that through stories is instead of just being like showing off the features of the project, instead of just showing off some of the process steps that you put into it, what we found is pretty impactful for our videos is we take it from the client's perspective. We say, well, I'm working on a video right now today, right before I came in here, and it's Fred and Beverly. And they were going to move out of their home. They had a problem. They really thought that their home could not suit the lifestyle that they wanted. They wanted to have big family parties over. They're at the point where they're empty nesters. They have all of this family to have over for events, and they really were divided up into different spaces. So the video I'm making, we highlight that problem. Honestly, we don't talk about the contractor a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What we're really doing is showing what the contractor does. So we set up that problem. Then we go in and we show how this new space that they got through their contractor has solved that for them. Then I ask Fred and Beverly, hey, do you have any videos of your family in this space? Do you guys, they talked about in Easter where they had like 60 people over. I was like, do you have footage of that? And like, they sent me a video of them with all 60 people in there.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this super high def video all throughout, and then we're ending it with this iPhone footage that shows like the authenticity of them using the space and the fulfillment of everything they wanted in their home.
Wow.
So that's a meaningful story that contractors can tell all the time.
So you're closing the loop, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why are people watching? Mm-hmm. Why are they listening? You gotta have a question or a goal, and then you have to get to the goal or answer the question. That's it.
So what I was going to ask earlier is what are some of the most common stories that you find yourself telling as you're doing this for so many contractors? Are there consistencies? Is it a lot of the same problems? Maybe there's some outlier. Like, I'm just curious what all that looks like.
Yeah. So typically we're with like residential remodelers. And so the typical story there will be something similar to the Fred and Beverly. Another way to take it is you can talk about somebody that we had one and it was his childhood home that his parents lived in it and they're in memory care now. They're kind of at the age where they have to help take care of them and they can't live in the space anymore. And for him, he turned that home into a rental property to help pay for their memory care.
Wow.
So it's like, yeah. And so now it was Box Construction that did this project. They were able to pull in bits and pieces from his childhood, make it a beautiful space. And now he can use that to bring in money for his parents. So that was a cool one. Every story is going to have something different. And there's so many times where you're like, I don't even think this is kind of a boring client. They're not going to have something. Another common one will be people that are aging in place. That seems to be a big thing. So you'll have people that are like, we're getting older, or maybe we're looking to the future and we don't want to move, but our current setup is not going to be safe long term. Mm-hmm. So then let's do a nice remodel. We're at the point in our financial journey, I guess, where we have expendable income. Let's get a nice remodel and make it safe for us at the same time. That's another story that we do a lot. But we'll have outliers as well. Like we did one for Blue Sky Electric down in Oklahoma, and he sold generators. And it was like, okay, how do you sell a generator with the same level of storytelling? Well, it's always there. It's always there. For them, it was, and if you're an electrician wondering how to do this, this is what you do. They were concerned about losing power because of hurricanes. They'd previously gone through a tornado. Mm-hmm. Previously had tornado come through, knock out power. They had kids. Very, very scary situation for them. So we aren't selling the generator. We're selling the peace of mind that the electric company is bringing to them through the generator. And the name Blue Sky Electric played in well with that as well, because it's like the opposite of what you would think from a tornado.
Right.
So you can do it in service industries as well.
Yeah, I find that, I've obviously done a ton of content, but I personally, if you tell me to sit down and go, okay, script out or come up with ideas, for my painting company or something to, do storytelling, I personally have a massive roadblock around the creative part of it. And,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's like, it's funny, I've painted thousands of homes in my career as a painting contractor. And I could walk into a room and I cannot picture color on the wall. I have zero creativity when it comes to like that artistic stuff. I'm creative in other ways.
Yeah.
And so do you run into that a lot where people are like, I'm all in and doing content, but and this, to me, this is the value of CGN coming out and, spending a few days with somebody is you guys are like the pros at pulling this shit out of people.
Yeah, Tom, every single person deals with that. I mean, literally, it's just the nature of the problem. CGN deals with that with telling our own stories because you're so close to it in the day to day, you kind of lose perspective of what things are. And so my approach, the way that we handle things is, we get a list of your favorite jobs. So if you're like, hey, I have done a few amazing projects. I haven't done those in a long time though, and I'd like to get back to doing those. What we do is we say, okay, let's get a list of those projects you want to do. Reach out to those people. Then we'll schedule a 40-minute call similar to this one with the homeowners themselves, and I'll sit down and I'll get their story before we ever come out. I'll talk to them. I make it fun for them as well. Yeah. Like, part of this, honestly, is just having fun and being silly with them because people are nervous to be on camera. But just have a good time with them. Show I'm not a scary guy. Honestly, nobody has ever told me I'm scary. Maybe one day I'll get there, but nobody ever has. But I go to them and get that story from them. Then we go back to the contractor and say, here's the story that we're going to tell. And so even as a contractor, as you're kind of like, oh, I don't know what I would tell or things like that, a lot of times it's not coming from the contractor. It's coming from the clients. And it comes from them naturally. You just have to know what questions to ask.
So what's the all right. So I would imagine, because I'm just putting myself in the shoes of the contractor right now. I'm going, you come to me and you go, yeah, we want to go interview a couple of your clients. My first reaction to that is they won't want to do that. I don't want to bother.
Sure.
Stuff like that. Like how often does that type of thing happen? Like how excited are these people to actually take the time and do that for the contractor? I'm just wondering there.
We've had on the last project we did, we had somebody that was like, hey, to be honest with you, I'm retired. I do some CPA stuff. If I'm hopping on a call, it's to get paid. And that was the only time that's ever happened. But even in that case scenario, I was like, that makes sense. I can understand that stuff. We were still able to go in his space and tell the story after just from my conversations with him. Typically what you find though is the people that the relationship plays into it. It's not just the project itself, but it's a relationship you have with the homeowners. Those people are excited to do it. And another thing that I always suggest our contractors to do is get them a cleaner to come in and clean out the space, give them a gift card to like thank them for their time, make sure that they know you're going to take care of them. Because I mean, that I would put serious money into that, because the amount that you will get from having their authentic personalities about their space and have it captured in high quality, putting that out there, the ROI on that is crazy. So to invest a little and make it worth their time, I think is entirely worth it. And you're not paying them to say nice things, but just to pay them for their time. Yeah. I'm never looking to get a puff piece. I want the authentic version of the story.
What's the craziest thing a homeowner's ever said to you? One of the craziest things.
Oh, shoot, dude.
I know.
People will say stuff and they'll be like, yeah, you can't put that in the video. Or sometimes, honestly, what happens more often is people will say stuff and they won't even know that it's weird. We had one where this couple, I don't understand. I'm trying to figure out how much to share. There was a video that we've done where I guess they had done a lot of rehearsal before the shoot. And they had maybe trained back and forth. as the husband was delivering, like while he was just speaking, the wife the entire time was like ventriloquist, like mouthing his words to him, and we didn't notice it until the edit. We were like, wait, what is going on here? Was that all scripted from them? Like they must have like
Oh my
really
God.
gone over this stuff.
Yeah. Did you have
But
two
she's just sitting
cameras?
there
Did
like
you have two
mouthing his,
cameras so she wasn't on camera doing it the whole time? Okay, good.
yeah, so then you can crop in and things like that. Yeah, but it was like so awkward. It was weird. I mean, some people are just weird, but honestly, a benefit of doing the pre-interview is that that's happening less and less now, because now I can select the people beforehand.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's some weird ones out there for sure.
that's cool. So, kind of bringing the plane in for a landing here before we wrap up. You brought up the ROI word, and
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, what are you seeing? Um, and I know sometimes there's some lagging results, right, from things, right? It's
Yeah.
not like, you run a Google ad and in a day or two if it's working, right? So, but like, what are you seeing with the contractors that have invested with CGN to tell their stories like this and really have gone all in and stuff? I'm just curious how that's playing out now that several years have gone by.
Yeah. So honestly, the first 2 years, we didn't even we thought it would be too hard to track to try.
Mm-hmm.
And as we went on, we came to find out, not surprisingly, people, if you can't show them there's a return, they're like, yeah, video is cool, but it's not worth that investment.
Mm-hmm.
So in the last year, we've made the switch to, instead of doing just a ton of videos and like, here, you can have them now, work them how you will. Now what we're doing is working them into ad campaigns
Mm-hmm.
and running those through social media. And so now there is legitimate statistics that you can get to behind, okay, how many people are seeing this? How much am I paying for each person to come in and see this? And then how many people are going back to my website? So we have a few campaigns running right now. And a couple of the surprising results we found was with one of our companies, Fry Remodeling, he was able to rank in Google's new AI search features because of the featured project page and video content that we created for him. He had people coming into him saying, I found you through this video you made on the cookie bake remodel, which is what we did for him. That was surprising to us. We did not know things were going to go that way with Google. The way that the new AI SEO is operating is not the way it has always done before, but it's more about your expertise and experience. And so showing that you've actually worked for somebody in their area, Google is prioritizing more. As AI content is getting more prevalent and anybody can become an expert on anything, they want to see legitimate proof that you do what you say you can do. And so that's an example there. Another one we did was Portico, a local company to Charlotte. And immediately they had people coming in, looking at their videos and identifying them as like capable of hiring work. They had a client come in who had a designer from, I can't remember where they flew in from, but they flew in their designer to meet with Portico because they saw the videos and were like, okay, I understand you guys are on another level from the contractors I've looked at. I just moved into the area, and from a quick search, I can immediately see this is the company I want to go with. So that was a couple quick examples of the early results of this ad stuff that we're doing.
So what I love is, and you guys have been banging this drum for years, is like your pictures, your video, all this. If you're going to say that you're a high-end contractor, your shit better look the part. And that's the value, I think, of investing with CGN, to have you guys do something like this. Like if you're doing content, like if you want to work in, what contractor doesn't want to work in the best neighborhoods with the best money and the nicest houses, right? I mean, that's just most everyone wants that. Your content, your video, the storytelling, all these things build confidence that that's who you guys are. I remember seeing this company that called themselves Luxury something or else, and you look at all their pictures and they were of shitty little homes on the crappy side of town, and it was a disconnect
Yes.
in the whole brand thing.
People who don't like marketing say things like, I want to let my work speak for themselves. 1,000,000% let your work speak for itself. Like that. I have always hated marketing. I don't like ads. I like, just as a personal thing, like, this is weird, but I take the logos off my clothing. I just don't like it.
That's the weirdest thing.
But what I like doing
in my life.
I yeah, thank you. But what I appreciate about what we're doing is just, I don't want to tell some fake story. I just want to let your work speak for itself and put it in a platform where it can get the most visibility possible.
Yeah.
If you're really, really proud of what you do, I want to take that stuff, put it up on a pedestal for other people to see, and then let them make their own decision on whether or not that's what they want. But to say you do luxury work and then you have your iPhone photos on your free website, it just doesn't line up for people.
Yeah. My buddy Rene Rodriguez, who wrote Amplify Your Influence, he talks a lot about the brand and the power of basically communicating expected benefits to people, right? And then that has to pair with confidence that you can actually get the thing that you want. And and my point here is, when you have high quality video, great storytelling, where somebody can look at it and go, hey, that's kind of like our situation, right? Hey, if I wanted to paint an ABC neighborhood and that was where my ideal clients were, the best thing I could do is grab you guys, come out with one of those clients in that neighborhood. I'm going back to what you said about Google and AI now, where here's Joe and Mary Smith in ABC neighborhood. Now Google's more likely to pick that up because it's proving, right? It's validating that you actually did the work in that area.
Yeah. And if you're not at the point where you can do video, get a photographer, a local photographer, somebody who knows what they're doing, and get reviews. Like, those are great stepping stones to proving that, both to people and to Google. Right now it's like aligned, which is great.
I think you froze there a minute. Something happened. You back?
Oh, you lost me?
Yeah, there we are. I heard line. It's a line. Okay.
Yeah, I was saying it's aligned with proving yourself to people and to Google at the same time. Luckily, right now it's the same activity. You don't have to game the system.
Good shit, man. So, if a contractor is listening to this and they're like, I need to get serious about my storytelling using video, blah, 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 and they want to reach out to you guys, where do you want them to go? What do you want them to do?
Yeah, so feel free to go check out our website, contractorgrowthnetwork.com. Or honestly, you could reach out to me personally. I'm not a salesperson, but I am passionate about this stuff and would love to give anybody advice who'd like it. So my number is 704-909-8946. That's just I don't know what I'm doing here. That's my personal line. So
look at that.
But legitimately,
look at that.
I care about this stuff. So even if a CGN's not the solution for you, if you listen to this and you're like, hey, I'd like to pick your brain on something, I'd love to talk.
That's awesome, man. It's really generous. And I know the CGN team is one of our badass sponsors at Mile High Profit Summit coming up in a few weeks. We're excited about. And guys, if you haven't grabbed your ticket, go to milehighprofitsummit.com, get your ticket, and you'll also be able to have a conversation with the CGM peeps about what they can do for you in your business. And check out contractorgrowthnetwork.com. Just do it anyway, damn it, because there's good stuff there. And guys, I'm telling you, like, I swear I'm not going to light the fuse and lose my shit here today. All right. But a lot of you contractors piss me off because you like nickel and dime this marketing and brand building and storytelling, and you wonder why nobody wants to spend money with you. I just read a post the other night. I did a post like I'm selling projects, For those who don't know, I started up a painting company called Simplify Painting in Colorado Springs about a month ago. In our first 40 days, we're about 68 grand in sales. And I'm telling you guys, like, I'm selling, everything's over 50%. My last 6 or 7 jobs are 60, 63, 67. Okay. Like, I'm killing it because I'm working on the brand. Okay. And this guy in this Facebook group the other night, our free group, he was like, man, I wish I could get jobs like that. I wish I could have margins like that. Well, listen, fucker. All right. The reason you can't is because you're half-assing your brand building, your storytelling, your marketing efforts, and you're going on the cheap. Somebody asked me, Aaron, they're like, how much do you spend on marketing? I said, all of it. Like, as much as I can, I'm spending it. Now, this is a side hustle for me, so I don't have to eat from it. So every dime of profit for year one is going back into building the brand of this thing. Okay. And you guys were a huge part of that. I've heard probably half a dozen times that, the website you guys built for us at simplifypainting.com. Literally, this woman, she's like, I hired you because this is the best website I've ever seen. It was so easy and blah, blah, blah. And basically she was saying it told the right story. All right. So if you guys are sick and tired of rolling in the gutter and being broke all the time, all right, you got to take a risk at some point. All right. So listen, reach out to CGN, have a conversation with Aaron, and he won't sell you anything because he's not a sales guy. He'll just transfer you to the sales guy when you're ready to buy something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess essentially, yeah.
And listen,
that would mess it up.
Yeah, and as they should, right? Because we should all be the biggest fan of the shit we do. And I know the gang over there at CGN. You guys know Logan and all you guys for a long time, and you're the real deal. All right, and damn it, you should invest with them because they do this for contractors every damn day. You're not getting some free website that's never going to get found. You're not going to get some website that has too much or too little as far as content. They're going to make sure your pictures are fucking dialed in so you look the part. And they're going to make sure the thing gets found because it's built right. I don't know how many times, Aaron, I've heard, I don't want to get into the website thing here right now, but I know how many times I've heard I have this website and nobody ever finds it. It's because the way it's built and it's structured, the framework, whatever tech words you want to use around sites, if it ain't done right, you guys, Google ain't going to find it. Okay. So there's so many.
No, you're building a house with no road.
Yeah. Geez. Can't get to the house. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to get off my soapbox. I said I wasn't going to lose my shit today, but Aaron, I can't wait to continue to watch what you guys are doing for contractors and see and helping people win. Appreciate you guys being part of the event this year, and thanks again, man, for being part of the show today and sharing a little bit about how we can get better at storytelling. Guys, check out contractorgrowthnetwork.com, and we'll see you soon, brother.
Cool. Thanks for having me on, Tom. I appreciate it, dude.
You got it.